Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. Back to check on the honeybee colonies. Primarily here just to open up and have a look in the 8-frame hive to see how things are coming along there. I think it was about 10 days ago or so we had that open. And I haven't done a follow-up video on that. From what my friend Ryan at Hudson Valley Bee Supply said, that colony is likely not queenless because there was brood in there in the last 21 days when we last opened it. We saw quite a bit of brood in there. So I believe that colony is okay. I probably just could not find the queen behind those weird comb structures, obviously without tearing all the comb apart, which is kind of counterproductive. So today I'm going to go back in and we'll have a look around. We'll see how deep we go poking around. I just want to get a better assessment of the hive. But I will say this, in the last week or so I've noticed that the traffic and hive activity is kind of straightened out a bit more. I see a lot more inbound, outbound traffic and a lot less kind of lingering, flying around, confusion. And I don't see as many drones around it either. The other two colonies are absolutely rocking today. It's a beautiful sunny 80-degree day. Sort of humid, but not oppressive, which is nice for all of us. And they're pulling resources absolutely like crazy. So I guess awesome. Real briefly, we'll just stop and have a look at the buckwheat right here in front of the beehives. And I don't know if you noticed this already or not, but if you look closely there, you can see we actually have buckwheat forming seed, and actually that seed is starting to mature out and finish some of those early flowers that popped. So this will be going to seed very soon. Man, I wish I had time to build a small combine so I could collect all that seed for next year. Seed prices just keep going up. $110 for a 50-pound bag of buckwheat seed this year. Last year I think it was 50 or something like that. It was a lot less than it is now. All right, let's jump in. Not going to waste any time today. I want to disturb them as minimal as possible and yet still achieve our objectives of having a look at things. And we got bees up in the bottom of this third box here, so that's encouraging. Just pop that off quick. Oh my, that's a little bit different picture than we saw before. Boy, do they go nuts when you smoke them. Yeah, so you see these little white guys? She's not going to make it now. That's bee larva. Yeah. Made a mess of that one. Try and scoop, yeah. Try and hold this up to the camera so you can see. I don't know how well it'll focus. But that's bee larva. That's what they look like. And let's see, we should come in from the edges. This side is still not much. I'll just pull the frame quick and show you. Just so you're on the same page with me. Yeah, see, just starting to draw a comb, but basically nothing doing. Oh, but look at that. The frame next to it. Yeah, hold on. Look out, ladies. Look out, ladies. There we go. The frame next to it, they are building on now. So that's good. We got comb draw all on this. On this side we got more draw, and we got happy, healthy honeybees working it. And I don't see very many drones on this now. I did see a couple of drones as I popped this open, but that's fantastic news. We'll leave that edge frame out and we'll work our way toward the center. I'm really hoping to spot the queen in here so I can show you, and also for my own confirmation that she is in fact here. But I mean, I think Ryan's right. You know, if we had laying eggs in the last 21 days, the last time we were in here, then clearly there's a queen laying. We wouldn't have eggs, we wouldn't have larvae, we wouldn't have brood. All we would have would be like drone brood maybe. Queenless colonies do some weird stuff. So let's pull this frame. Try not to pinch anybody. There we go. Yeah, we got nice comb draw out coming on that. That's filling out. We got nectar. Let's see if I can bring this up to you. We got nectar in there. Try and catch the sun again. Hopefully you can see the nectar filling those cells up. We got happy bees all over it. I definitely don't see our queen on that side. And this is drawn, combed, drawn and capped. Oop, there's a drone. There's a drone. But not a ton of them. Drawn and capped, looking good. Overall looking good. Still not seeing the queen. We'll move our way across to the next frame here. We'll just gently keep pushing these off to the edge for now. I said gently, and I meant gently. It's easy to go a little more than gently. Yeah. So, let's give them another puff here. Just to keep everybody chill. And then this comb here on top has to go. This is not helping anything we're doing. And pop these apart. Look out, ladies. I don't want to pinch anybody. Okay. We'll pull this frame. Grab this corner here for support. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful brood in the middle of that. She's laying kind of a strange pattern there. You know, we like to see that middle of brood and then nectar and then honey and pollen and such on the outside edges. But she's laying, and that's good. I still don't see her on here. Another drone. Good brood in here. A little sparse in this part, but we got good brood lay across. I'm not complaining on that. It's pretty good for process of recovering colony. Still not seeing the queen, but I did just see a large bee in there. Not enough light to tell whether it was a drone, but it looked more queen-like. We'll see. We'll just keep working our way across. pry our next one open. So one of the reasons, and Ryan brought my attention to this in his email and in our discussion, one of the reasons I am not taking the frames out of the hive for the most part, exception of that one that was basically empty, is we don't want to bring our queen out and then she gets off the frame and then she doesn't get back in the colony. It's one thing you do have to be wary of. And we got excellent brood pattern on here as well. That's more the pattern we like to see. A nice solid lay pattern in the middle, surrounded by nectar, edges with capped honey. We got lots of bee resources being built, lots of bees being built, and lots of fuel to keep them going. And I don't see the queen on this one either. Another drone here, and I see a couple others across the pattern there. Let's flip over and have a look at the other side. Look at that nice brood pattern again, surrounded by nectar. Again, that core football nest in the middle with nectar around the edge and then capped honey around the edge of that. That's excellent. And there's lots of brood in here, so there's lots of bees in the process of growing out, and they'll be ready to hatch out sometime in the next 21 days, probably less. Still not seeing the queen in here, but that's okay. We might still not spot her. Hopefully we didn't pinch her last time. Building out some comb blocks in the bottom, almost look like trying to make emergency cells. But here, we'll drop this back in. Do I have that right? Yeah. Trying to keep the layout they had. Don't want to really disrupt the colony if we can help it. The other reason you see me super careful about sliding these back and forth is, again, you don't want to pinch the queen. I don't want to pinch any bees because I don't want to hurt any bees. Obviously that's counterproductive. But you especially don't want to get the queen because she's a lot harder to replace. A lot more time for them to spawn a new queen out, and a lot more expensive to go buy a queen and install. Neither is a great option if you could just keep your queen alive instead. I probably should hit him with a puff again here. Yeah. Make a little room so I can get in here with the tools and not hurt too many ladies. Alright. Look at that beautiful brood pattern. You know, aside from our comb that's a little detached and messed up from my screw up earlier this season with the weather, inclement weather we had, that's a nice brood pattern. Solid brood in the middle, honey resources all around the edges. Still not seeing our queen in here. Okay, now we're getting back out to the edge of the colony. Comb draw, look at that. Look at all that pollen. And I think some of that might be bee bread. That's a good sign. They're pulling pollen and they're definitely rearing brood. That's one of their primary, they make bee bread with, I think, with the pollen and the honey. And that's part of what they feed the brood before they cap them and close them up. And I'm still not seeing the queen here. Very odd. But okay. What do we got here? Just starting to draw a comb on that one. Wow, that side's loaded with bees, the outside edge. Makes me wonder if our queen might be over there somewhere, but it wouldn't make sense. She usually stays over fully formed cells and just goes along laying in patches like we saw. A good, healthy, happy colony by the look of it. Definitely still see some drones in there. There's one. But alright. I don't see the queen on the sidewall here anywhere. It makes me think maybe that one I saw down in the bottom of the hive before might actually be her. Just not enough light to really distinguish it. So now I'm going to go ahead and push these back, and we'll put this other one back in place. Oh, sweating like crazy. Okay, we are going to have a peek in the top of the first box at least. I just want to see how they're drawing out in there. I'm not even going to smoke the front of this colony. I'm just going to pop the cover. We'll smoke a little from the top if we need to, or maybe just precautionary, but we'll keep it low impact, so to speak. Yeah, we do have bees coming up, so let's give them a gentle little puff. Consistent with this part of the season. There you go. Not much going on that. Got it glued down good already. There we go. So that, they got the comb draw out going pretty rapid there. The frame next to it, they got the top part drawn out and some nectar. This one's just beginning to draw. So they got a ways to go yet to fill this third box still too. Probably a solid 4 frames, I would say, left to really, 3 or 4 frames to really fill it out all the way. Okay, about 5 minutes after coming back out of the first hive, and they're right there. So probably 10 since we've been out of this colony. A lot of aggravated traffic around there. Definitely feel like we disrupted the routine a bit today. But overall, things are good in here, and I would say they're thriving thus far. So post-hive inspection here, just taking a little stroll. The holy basil is thriving everywhere in here. This buckwheat where we worked this block last year, and then the last couple times I foliar fed, I had a little extra left over. I hit this with it, and like I was showing you before, we already are approaching mature seed on some of these already. That's very fast. I'll have to look at the date these were planted, but that's in the early edge of the window, we'll say. So that's good. And that huge rain we had, it looks like we got about 3 inches last weekend. And that huge rain made a huge difference. That was a big win for us here. Things are really slowing down without the rain. But one of the things I want to bring over here and show you was, number one, all the holy basil that reseeded itself from last year in here, in amongst the buckwheat cover crop we put in. But then also intermingled with that is this. And this is that yellow sweet clover that we included in this cover crop. If you recall, we planted buckwheat, yellow sweet clover, red clover, and white clover in this block. And then out here in this upper buckwheat patch, there's one block where I spread maybe 1/4 to 1/2 pound of holy basil seed and seed hull. So, you know, not that much seed, but quite a bit of seed still. I seeded a whole block of that, and we'll look at that. I see little sprigs of that peeking up through there too. So I'll just give you a pan here from the beginning of the area we cleared back across the whole block. And you can see we've got a good portion of this in cover crop now. And again, you can see a clear, defined line where the deer come out, and we see them out here in herds. You'll see them in clips of the different farming shots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 deer out here sometimes grazing. And when I come around the tractor, they run off for about 30 seconds and then they sneak back out. But they seem to be staying away from up here where all the construction and burning and electric fence and all that kind of activity has been. And so that's where you see the buckwheat go from being grazed to actually flowering out. So that's interesting. But I was going to show you the holy basil sprouting here in the buckwheat. So let's look at that. I planted a huge block of that in here between somewhere over there, forget exactly, and almost to the honeybee hives. There's kind of a strip block that runs along in here. And I know I just came out here and spotted some. Yep. So there's some holy basil coming up. That one and that one are both holy basil, as is that, and so on and so forth, all through this block. So we have another whole stage of holy basil coming.